welcome aboard to Polymath Particles. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And let me just make a very special announcement right out of the gate. Creative Tony looking good with his Longbridge representation on his chest, literally. Welcome, Creative Tony, PMP community, to show number 100. I'm very proud and very happy. Yeah, number 100. Welcome aboard. Very glad to be here. What do you got for me, T? You doing the hand signals? Beautiful.
I do like 100.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Like a 100 kind of something. I don't know.
Good enough.
The Century Club, Paulie. We're in the Century Club, buddy. Let's do 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes. Kidding, but welcome to episode 100. I love it.
Yeah, it feels really good, man. Welcome aboard, everybody. And I just want to play catch up on some of the things going on the comment line for 5 seconds before we dive into the show. For starters, Marcel Pantaleon, Tony was very excited because he figured out the origin story of this cut. One more time, take two.
This is my pizzeria.
He goes, I saw him make a comment. He goes, dude, I'm so proud. I figured out where that cut is from. One more time.
This is my pizzeria.
That's the late Danny Aiello in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. Marcel, good points to you, brother. And then number two, Tony, there's a conversation raging on the comments line about the beauty and the memories that paper tickets allow you to have. Like back in the day, you go see a show, you walk out of there with your ticket, and the Grateful Dead used to like make their tickets, pieces of artwork, their mail orders. And then I saw people talking about camping out overnight to get tickets and stuff like this. And I got to say one last thing. How about this? Scarlet Fire. I remember vividly being at a party in New Jersey in high school. It's like midnight on a Saturday night or something like that. And then like 10 kids were like, okay, we're leaving. We're going to camp out for Springsteen tickets because the Born in the USA tour was coming. And guys like left this party at midnight to go sleep outside the record store to buy tickets in the morning. That's how we used to roll back in the day. Now it's all done online. But that's why one of the reasons I didn't even attempt to get Grateful Dead tickets this time in the park. I'm like, I'm not even getting involved with this madness. I mean, like Don Peralta, our art director, Tony, he sent a text. He's like, yeah, I'm in line for Dead tickets. There's 25,000 people ahead of me. I'm like, that's enough. I'm out. I mean, just hearing that gave me a headache. Welcome aboard, Sons of Johnny Lee. Always great to see you. And yeah, man, 100 shows, right? Thanks, brother. And thanks to people like you for supporting the show. That has become possible. And we're going to keep on doing this. We're going to keep on keeping on as long as we can. Speaking of quotes like keep on keeping on, Bob Dylan, Tangled Up in Blue. Let me tell you, one of our great friends, one of the great Grateful Dead historians and biographers, and a good buddy of mine and Tony's, Dennis McNally, will join us at 11:30 today. He's got a brand new book out called The Last Great Dream. We're going to talk about that, kind of the documents the birth of the hippie in the Haight-Ashbury. And again, Dennis is a fascinating dude, and he's a friend of mine, and I'm very happy he'll be joining us in a little bit. But Creative Tony, we got NBA Finals to talk about. Your San Francisco Giants, thank God they got the hell out of the East Coast, and they're back home tonight to host the Padres. More of the same. Great pitching. There's really no offensive firepower to be found. So I've talked enough, Creative Tony. How was your weekend? Did you do okay in your Little League championship game? I don't want to. It's up to you whether or not you want to talk.
Oh, no, weekend was great, man. We lost a heartbreaker in the championship yesterday, 4-2. It was a great Little League ball game, man. And by the way, Sons, thank you for the super brother. Thank you. And I love the support.
Much
the
love.
Hundo Century Show, the Century Club. We've made it. Looks like we made it. Or maybe it's better. So glad you made it.
Yeah.
But, we lost 4-2. Both teams played really well. My son lined out or kind of hit like a flare to left field, and the shortstop, a buddy of his, Griff, dove and sold out, like literally sold out and dove to catch it. We had runners on too. We were threatening too. But tip of the cap to the A's. They are the champs, and the Giants took second place. But we had a super fun run, just a lot of fun, like great playoff run, and I love those kids, and I hope they have a great summer. And then Giants baseball, just the pitching staff is keeping, we've talked about it over and over again, this pitching staff, especially the bullpen, is keeping this team in contention. I mean, they're 3 games out of first, and love to see the Yankees beat the Dodgers yesterday. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Although, Jesus Christ, the Dodgers 18-2 against the Yankees on Saturday. Yikes, that's like a little league. That's like a little league score. Speaking of little league, but it's just and Jordan Hicks was a mess yesterday, and I feel like that might have been like the last straw with Jordan Hicks with Melvin. I don't know, but
I don't think there is a last straw. That's the thing when it comes to Bob Melvin. And I don't know who's making the decisions, he and Buster in unison or whatever, but they're still trotting Lamont Wade out there. They're still trotting Jordan.
You
I'm
just said
saying, like you would think like we've seen enough, but yet they continue to put these guys on the field. So yeah, man, I'm not happy with Hicks either, but he's still out there hurting the Giants. Then, by the way, on a positive tip, well, the Giants did win the series in Miami.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I thought Harrison did some solid work on Friday. I thought Birdsong did some solid work yesterday. I think he went 4 1/3. I thought it was a pretty nice outing for him. Duvall back pretty much as the closer again, and that seems like that's going to work out. Like that's a good decision. And yesterday, dude, when Matos hit the 3-run homer, I was like, it's like such a foreign event now. Like it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we just hit a 3-run home run. Holy shit. Like we really, really needed that. So,
I also think like too, I got to give in fairness, dude, on Saturday's 1-0 loss and they just a wasted gem by Robbie Ray.
Dude, the Giants allowed 3 hits and they lose. I mean, what are we doing?
That was a work of art by Robbie Ray. Cause man, did he settle in after like the 4th inning, just pumping. But, Fitzgerald got robbed of a home run. They brought it back in. And then also Jung-Hoo Lee got robbed of an extra base hit that probably would have gone off the top of the wall. So it's like there are situations, but we need more, dude. I mean, like I was looking this up, Paulie. Chapman was 10 of 29 for the road trip, but just 1 RBI.
Yeah.
Adames 5 for 30, 2 RBIs. This is the whole road trip. Wilmer 8 of 35, 8 for 35, 4 RBIs, and Ramos 10 for 34. 3 RBIs. So it's like the runners in scoring position is a thing. They're not getting those timely hits, man. And I like that Chapman's heating up. He's up to 235 now. Keep it going, Chappie. But hey, Adames, man. God. And hey, DC, Darren Chan said it last week when he joined the show. Yeah. There's not a greater guy on the team. Everybody loves him, and everybody loves him, and just be patient, Okay, fine, we're gonna be patient, but the patience is over with Lamont Wade. And I don't dislike him as a Giant or as a person, but dude, I think it's time to designate him, for assignment because
I've seen enough. I don't know. It's not turning. It's not changing. It's not getting better. And at this point, it's actually hurting the Giants to have him out there. So I'm ready to make a switch there too. Creative Tony, if I may, why don't we give some love to our great sponsor, Longbridge Pizza, our good friends down in Dogpatch on 3rd Street, starting with the main man down there, Neil Donardi. Hey, we got a little bit of a movement going on the streets. We got like a grassroots thing happening where my main man, Stevie Bisecchio, last week was talking about how we went in there to Longbridge, bought some of that sourdough crust, bought it home, made his own pies. That's taken off now. That thing is starting to catch fire because Don Peralta just sent a message and said he did the same thing over the weekend, bought some of that sourdough crust, went home, flipped a few pies. I think I'm right behind him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go I want to bring my mom into, Mom, if you're watching, good morning. How are you today? I want to bring my mom into Longbridge and show her the joys of sourdough crust because she told me she's never had a pizza with sourdough crust. We're about to change that. Nice. And I might want to buy some too. I have a pizza stone at home. Let me go to work. So I might buy some sourdough crust as well at Longbridge Pizza, 2347 3rd Street. The laid back vibe, the serious pizza from Polymax Particle Pie on down. Whatever kind of craving you have, they're going to satisfy it. They take care of all your gluten-free needs if that's an issue for you. And again, as I like to stress, Tony, that back room can accommodate private groups and parties and things like that. So if you're a little league dad like Tony, a little league coach like Tony, you want to bring the kids in after a game sometime or a practice, Longbridge Pizza would be perfect for that because they got plenty of space in the back. They can accommodate it. Plenty of screens on TV, too. So if you want to watch the Giants, you want to watch the NBA Finals, they'll have all those games on as well, Tony. So get on down there, ASA Blanken PT.
Yeah, Paulie, also the Giants back in town. So if you're going to Oracle Park, go to Longbridge before or after. And there's also day baseball on Thursday. And they always say, the Neil and the staff there, Andre, they talk about bringing the gabagool sandwich to the ballpark. And also remember, Tuesdays is their smashed stack burger. Wednesdays is the chicken parm sandwich. Thursdays is the Detroit style square pizzas, which the Paulie Mac pizza can be found as a Detroit style square pizza. And Paulie, while I speak about this, I want to share Dom Peralta did what Stevie B did. That is a pizza that Dom made on with the dough from Longbridge Pizzas. If you want to make your own pie, if you want to say like, hey Neil, I'm inspired by your work, I'm going to make my own pizza and use your dough, you can buy the dough at Longbridge Pizza as well. Do me a favor, saddle up to the bar and get a nice cold beer while you're there from Bear Bottle or Original Pattern or Cellar Maker or Russian River Brewing. All of those on tap at and then also Altamont Brewing over there in Livermore. They have some beers over there from Altamont, the Hum Baby. We met the owner at that Niners event. So anyways, That's Neil. That's Don Peralta's work of art right there that we're looking at with Neil's dough.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that great? Isn't it great? So,
eat up, Dom. That looks good with the basil and the tomato. Thank you, Longbridge Pizza. We freaking love you, and I'll see you soon. I'm going to bring my mom in, and we're going to sit down and have an old school lunch together. Okay, Creative Tony, quick word on the NBA Finals. They're now set up. The Knicks broke everybody's heart. Well, the people that care about the Knicks. And an interesting thing has been going on. I want to talk about two different elements of the finals and the game 6, the Indiana New York game. Knicks just didn't have it. They turned the ball over all night long. I think they had 14 turnovers, maybe a couple more. I lost count after a while. So they did it to themselves. And they were kind of like that. They were kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. One night they looked incredible. Another night they couldn't get it together. Now there's all this stuff. And I saw Boomer Esiason today on social media make a statement. He goes, after this, and I want to know if you feel the same way, and I know Escobar III does. He and I had a conversation about this over the weekend on Twitter, that Boomer Esiason is a Knicks fan, but he now maintains, Tony, that the Knicks fan base has become the most hated fan base in all of sports. He says they have leapfrogged over the Eagles. They've leapfrogged over the Cowboys. They've leapfrogged over the LA Lakers. So do you agree with that? Like, I didn't realize people hated the Knicks. Like, the Knicks have sucked so long. My thing is, like, what is there to hate? It's like the first time they've had a decent playoff run in a very long time. So what's with the hatred for the Knicks fans? Creative Tony, explain it to me.
I'll tell you one thing is I saw people already making hats and shirts of Knicks in 7. Knicks, that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Too much celebration too early. I got you. Yeah, that's legit. That's a good point. Yeah,
and I like Chalamet as an actor, but I was getting a little bit of a Chalamet fatigue.
Yeah, a little Chalamet. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like, I get it, and and Stiller. I like Stiller and Spike Lee. All those fine. I feel like they've earned the right. And fatigue isn't an option for them because of their illustrious careers. But Chalamet, you're a young pup. I don't know. I felt like enough Chalamet. I don't need to see Chalamet anymore. I am bummed out that that they didn't get a game 7 because I really wanted a game 7 at the Guard, man.
Me too. I think that would have been tonight. I think that game would have been tonight if there was a game 7. It's too bad. We all got robbed. No, and that's the thing. There's great drama with a game 7, and having it in New York would have been a lot of fun. But here we go, dude. They're set now. OKC, Indiana. Creative Tony, I want to take your temperature. Does that move you in any way? Are you looking forward to this? Like, what's your whole kind of preliminary thought and feelings regarding this NBA matchup?
I'm saying that I am jumping the Thunder bandwagon. Cruised through San Carlos yesterday, and I'm riding shotgun on the Thunder bandwagon because I just like Chet Holmgren. I like the WCC pride. I know there's Nemhard for the Pacers who's repping over there from Gonzaga, but you got Jalen Green and Chet Holmgren, and I don't know. I just feel like the Halliburton thing still rubs me the wrong way with the pops and
I don't like that either. Yeah,
choking and all that stuff, and I know I'm gonna watch the games, and I'm actually think it's gonna be really good basketball. And it could go 6 or 7. I really think it could go 6 or 7. But just get ready for some flop-tastic moves from SGA, and get ready for some just frustrating basketball to watch. But I think in the end, I think it will be good basketball. But it's just two smaller markets that not are as attractive to the bandwagoner, but I'm on the Thunder bandwagon. So Thunder, actually, what's another Thunder song? Although
Thunder don't get you the lightning wheel. Why don't we do the wheel by the Grateful Dead? Much more enjoyable. I'm not a big Thunderstruck fan. I love
me neither. Yeah, me neither.
It's like, dude, cut the shit. What are you guys doing up here? You know what I mean? Like, I love the Bon Scott stuff, and I like a little Brian Johnson, but you know what I mean? When you're getting into Thunderstruck, that's where I got to walk away. Anyway, you guys, I got to say, Creative Tony, as objectionable as a Knick fan base might be to a lot of people, can I offer a grievance of my own? Is that okay?
Yes. The airing of grievances.
Grab the poll. What's it called? The Festivus poll or whatever. Let me get my hand on the Festivus poll. We're gonna do, and then after this, Tony, we'll do feats of strength. I'll lift the desk up right after I'm done with this. No, I'm kidding.
Freaking beautiful.
I gotta say, man, everyone's pissed off about the Knicks. We hate the fans. Oh my God, Chalamet. Look at all these guys. Let me tell you what I took objection to. Reggie Miller was practically pleasuring himself during the broadcast. Like he didn't even try to hide it. I was like, bro, this is getting to the point where it was extremely unprofessional. I mean, I thought it was a bad look. Did you get any feels of that, T? Like Reggie Miller was just over the top. Supposed to be like, a subjective approach. This kid's out here like leaning all of his love on Indiana. I just thought it was kind of unprofessional. And I like Reggie, but I didn't like that.
I like Reggie too, but there's his impartiality was out the window, and it's like, dude, that's your job, is to stay impartial, right?
Yeah, which he did not. yeah.
But that doesn't show his hatred, how much he hates the Knicks. I mean, I wonder if he's going to be as big of a pacer honk against the Thunder, because it's not against the Knicks anymore. I'm sure he's going to be excited for Indiana, but I don't know if he'll be as animated and as I don't know, like Pacer Nation repping the Pacer Nation the way he was against the Knicks. But it is that hatred of the Knicks, dude. Okay. And I don't know. I can see where that point is about the Knicks fan base, because they can get uppity. They can Knicks in 5, Knicks in 7. It's
yeah. No, you got me up against the wall on that. I can't defend that, dude. They're having block parties in the second round of the playoffs. I was like, God damn. I mean, it was fun. We put some stuff in the bookmarks, but I feel you. Now, Tony, you talked about lightning. You asked for songs about lightning. Our listeners are rushing to the fore.
No. Thunder. I have songs about thunder. I have songs about thunder, not lightning.
Let me tell you what's going on. Our fan base, our listenerhood, our community has hijacked that now into lightning songs. So here they come. From Tom Peralta, Lazy Lightning by the Grateful Dead. Good one. Jeff Winkler, Winks, what's up, my brother? He's checking in with this great one, Winks. Lightning Strikes by Ozzy on the Ultimate Sin album. Maybe the worst lyrics Ozzy ever wrote. I won't stop rocking all night until the lightning strikes again. The worst lyrics maybe of all time. I won't stop rocking all night till the lightning strikes again. Anyway, that's a good one. And then I'm going to offer my own. Winkler coming strong again. You want thunder? You're getting thunder. God of Thunder by Kiss, Don Peralta. Winks, Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen. And I want to come back and give you a secondary Lightning Strikes. Pretty damn good song, too, by Aerosmith on the Rockin' a Hard Place album. Look that one up. Lightning Strikes.
Also, Paulie, hold on. Can I give you a 2-week late guilty pleasure song on this tip? Because it was our musical assignment 2 weeks ago.
Whatever but I'm just going to do. Yeah.
Dude, I got to be honest, man. Garth Brooks, The Thunder Rolls and the Lightning Strikes. I got to give it to him. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not exactly proud of it. I think it was the album No Fences. I had that song Unanswered Prayers on it as well. But the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. And so I'm like, okay.
Hey, look at this, man. Escobar the Third, Thundercat, great bass player. Correct. Tony, shame on you and shame on me. Both of us should hang our heads as black belt aficionados of maybe the greatest film from the 70s, Grease. We should have both shouted out Thunder Road, where we're racing for Pinks. Pinks, you punk. Ownership papers. Give me some creative.
Rules, there ain't no rules.
That's what I'm talking about, Thunder Road. And never forget, Tony, that when Craterface of the Scorpions is drag racing Travolta, they get close enough, the cars get close enough, and all of a sudden, Craterface has like spinning blades coming out of the side of his car, cutting up Travolta's rig, and it was a bloodbath out there. But Thunder Road has to be acknowledged, Tony. Has to be.
Thunder Road absolutely acknowledged, and like literally the spikes like dig into the bottom of that beautiful white. I forget what type of car it was, but it was a beautiful with the lightning bolt on the door of the car. Just kind of not. I didn't appreciate that because
Tony, if you could, you can make it up to me and the entire community if you would join me in a quick verse of Grease Lightning with the moves. Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning, and then you got to do the arm. You got to sweep the room. Go Grease Lightning, you're burning up the motor. Grease Lightning, go Grease. It's a clean. The chicks are green. Grease Lightning. Tony and I will go all day. Don't wind us up on Grease. Trust me, we'll go all freaking day. And we've done it before. We'll do it again.
But you know what, Paulie? The scene that I could never riff on or give you lines on is Beauty School Dropout, because that's where I always fast forwarded. When we had the VHS tape, I always fast forwarded through Beauty School Dropout. Sorry.
No, Beauty School Dropout's not going to really hold our attention at that point. All the girls have the curlers in. Frankie Avalon, I think he's like flying around the room. They got him on suspension cables. Isn't he flying at one point? I think he's flying.
Yes, he's absolutely flying. But I saw saw it once. I'm like, never again. I'm good.
The only other point I thought, this is like, I can remember when I was a little kid, I would go to the back because I saw that at the shout out to the Alexandria on 18th and Geary. That's where I saw Grease as a kid in the city. I remember multiple times.
Nice.
And I remember I would go to the bathroom when Olivia Newton-John had her big song about Hopelessly Devoted to You. And she's got that picture of Travolta in the pool, and then she does the ripples and makes his face go away. That one never moved me. That was like my beauty school dropout. Where were you with Hopelessly Devoted to You, Tony?
This is going to sound like a total teenage boy review, but I just watched it so I could look at Olivia Newton-John.
Hey, listen, no one's gonna hold that against you. She was pretty captivating back in the day.
What are you gonna say? I'm owning it. I'm owning it.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Hey, you're a young-blooded, red-blooded American boy. It's fine. Creative Tony, I also forgot to announce that at the back end of the show today, we will pull our weekly Metallica ticket winner because we did the contest on Friday. We will have another pair to give away this Friday, but the winner is in the books. We're not going to announce it yet. We'll do that after we talk to Dennis McNally, and then we'll award those tickets, and then we'll move on, wrap the show, and see you guys tomorrow. All right, Creative Tony, what do you got for me? I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
We went over this a little bit, but I really do want to get your opinion. Do you think it's time to DFA Lamont Wade Jr.? Because he's betting like $1.65 now.
Yeah, I make no apologies at this point. Yes, they've given him an extremely long leash. I think we've seen enough. I mean, it's not turning, it's not changing for the better. How about you? Where are you with that?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. I like him. I mean, late night Lamont.
Yeah, late night Lamont. He's had some great moments. He's had some great games as a Giant, but it ain't happening right now. It's not.
Dude, cue up freaking Jimmy Cliff, struggling man, because dude, he is. Got
to move. Right. I'm a big struggling man fan. Big struggling.
No time to lose. I'm a struggling man, and I've got to move on.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah. So good.
There's a brand new Jerry Garcia box set coming out from the Warfield. It's like, I think it's 2 or 3 shows from I think February and March of 1991. I'm all over that. They're going to release it on vinyl too. I can't wait to jump on that. But yeah, struggling man for life. What else, T? What else do the Giants need to do to correct their woes at the plate? Because to me, it's like you said, starting pitching's fine. Bullpen's been really good. Got to get some firepower in the box. They don't have it. So what happens next, T? What kind of moves do you think need to be made, if any?
I don't know if any moves. I'm just hoping some home cooking for the Giants, does them some good, because they're 21st in on-base percentage. They're 24th in slugging percentage. They're 25th in team batting average. But then if you go to the pitching side of the Giants team, they're 3rd in ERA. They're 7th in quality starts in 26. They're 7th in batting average against. They're 8th in whip. So it's like the pitching is saving this team, but that's not sustainable. They need balance, right? It's not sustainable, dude. So I don't know. I just, it's too early to bring up Eldridge, and let him tear up Richmond and let him get called up to Sacramento. Sure. But I think it's too early. I just don't know what they're going to do, because is it Casey Schmidt at first? Is it Wilmer Flores at first? I don't know what you're going to do, but $1.65 when you already know you're going to get $1.85 from Patrick Bailey. You can't have 2 sub 200 hitters at the bottom of your lineup and then Adames flirting with 200, where he's at 208 right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it can't happen. It can't happen, dude. I just can't happen.
I'm with you 100% on this. And Scarlet Fire, thank you, dear. If the Thunder don't get you, no question. The wheel, man, the wheel for life. I've seen some good ones. I recommend one. If you want me to recommend one, I'll give you 2. Here's 2 off the top of my head that are both awesome versions. 5, 10, 86 from the Frost Amphitheater. That whole second set is so perfectly played and perfectly sung. It's some of the best singing I've heard on a Grateful Dead show. 5, 10, 86. And then another great one is 5, 15, 85 Greek Theater. There is a beautiful wheel coming out of space in that show. You might want to check those out, Scarlet Fire. Those are my doctor prescriptions of the day. I think Pine Needle too, Tony. Wants to say.
I like that those are both outdoor shows. And by the way, shout out to the newly revamped and reopened Frost Amphitheater on Stanford's campus. Man, is it a great venue! I highly recommend it. Get down there when you can. And Pine Needle, yes.
Night Lamont. He's giving them to Steph Curry. Night Lamont. No more late night. Now it's night Lamont. Hey, like Tony said, man, It ain't about him. It's about the production, and the production is not there. And you have to have a first baseman with a little bit of pop. You got to have something happening,
Right.
and he's hitting under 200. Enough. Enough is enough, dude. It's June.
Oh,
Tony, it's June. It's June now.
Yeah.
We've had 2 months.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, totally. And on that note, we had DC Darren Chan on the show on, what was that, Thursday or Friday? I forget. God, it's
Thursday. Yeah.
Was it Thursday? DC, this is why DC rules. I want to share why Darren Chan rules, because it was Dave Fleming's birthday over the weekend, and if you can see that, Paulie,
Yeah.
it was Dave Fleming's birthday. I think it was his 49th.
Yeah.
49th birthday. What's up, Flem? I love Dave Fleming. He's such a good dude. But also, Darren Chan put Dave Fleming's face and head on top of Don Johnson from Miami Vice and put it in the broadcast booth. And they gave it a lot of love on TV over the weekend. And here it is again. If you, just in case you missed it, and it says, "Yes, Miami, you bet it's my birthday." So, it's Don Johnson's body and Dave Fleming's dome. And it's a birthday celebration that DC put together. That's why that's just another example of why Darren Chan rules.
No, he does. And he's bringing you those giant games like a champion, day in, day out, night in, night out, night after night. By the way, other goings on in the Polymath particle community. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I just saw him float by on the comments line, kind of shook my memory. Want to remind everybody there will be a Polymath show coming up this Saturday at Water Bar in San Francisco. I got like a 3-hour slot, noon to 3. So we're going to do a couple of sets of acoustic material. I'm brushing up on my Stones, my Bob Dylan, my Grateful Dead, my Springsteen. I got a little Pearl Jam in there. There's all kinds of stuff. So come on out if you can and enjoy the music. And Creative Tony, I have reached my hand into the community itself, and I'm extracting a Ray Goodman. That's the partner of Noemi. He's a singing guitar player. I need another singing guitar player. So Ray's going to join me in the second set on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. And do come on by if you can. We'll have a great time. We're going to be out in the back on the patio. We should have a good time. Yes, T.
And speaking of Ray Goodman and the Soulmates, he emailed over the weekend. His band is gigging Friday night, June 6th, at the William Welch Winery in Martinez from 6:30 to 9:30. So if you're in Martinez or in the area, cruise by the at William Welch Wines is what it's called, and it's Ray Goodman and the Soulmates this Friday, and at 6:30 to 9:30 in downtown Martinez at their tasting room. So
hey man, that's awesome. And I checked out some of Ray's stuff. I was watching Ray. I saw Ray with he sang a killer version of Lenny Kravitz's "It Ain't Over Till It's Over." That's a song I love, by the way. So many things I cried, and he did a great job. So Ray, I'm looking forward to playing with you, man. It's never been done before, but we're gonna do it. Yeah.
Is he hitting the falsetto on that? Because Lenny gets the falsetto.
Many tears I cried. Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Patty from Napa. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Eddie Bon Jovi. I'll tell you the truth, Patty, I've never even thought about playing it's like never even crossed my mind to play a Bon Jovi song. I guess I tell you what, maybe I'll give you a verse at the most of what was it, Wanted Dead or Alive. Maybe the whole thing, I'm a cowboy. That's as far as I'll go.
What if you just could you include in the middle of one of your songs, we're halfway there.
No,
living on a prayer.
I'd really rather not if I don't have to, unless someone was going to pay me handsomely for that. I think I'm going to go Bon Jovi free. And she knows we have an understanding. Patty and I, we coexist. We can, you know what though, Patty and I, we rally around the Eagles. That's what we do. She's a big Eagles fan. That's our common ground. I can get down with the Eagles. And I think Patty is going to be seeing the Dead in Golden Gate Park as well. So I'll see you there for that, Patty. That'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Paul, we have an update. Our special guest, Dennis McNally, has arrived in the green room, and he's waiting patiently for us to bring him on board. So I think it's time that we, as the kids say, pivot on the show and welcome Dennis to the program. So take it away.
This is going to be a real treat for me. This is Dennis has been a friend of mine. I'm very proud to call Dennis a friend for quite a while now. He is a best-selling author. He's a New York Times list best-selling author. He was famously the Grateful Dead publicist and biographer. He's got a brand new book out right now. We're going to talk about it called The Last Great Dream. So for the first time, let's welcome Dennis McNally to the Polymath Particle Show. My man, there he is. How we doing, Dennis? Good morning.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Oh, good.
Great.
I never know about this stuff. Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Great to see you, Dennis. And just for those uninitiated, let me just give you a quick bio on Dennis. So Dennis, as I said, famously the a publicist and definitive biographer of the Grateful Dead. He's also the author of Desolate Angel, a phenomenal book about Kerouac and the Beat. He also wrote a killer book called On Highway 61, Music, Race, and the Evolution of Cultural Freedom. And if you're a Garcia fan, if you're a Jerry Garcia fan, I cannot recommend this book enough. It's called Jerry on Jerry, and it's basically a collection of conversations and interviews that Dennis had with Jerry. And you're going to definitely want to pick that up if you don't have a copy. That's a phenomenal book if you're a Garcia fan. And then finally, Dennis's better half, Susanna Millman, is a wonderful photographer. She's got great books of her own out there. You should definitely check out as she spent a lot of very, very intimate time with the band, and her work is exceptional as well. So Dennis, all right, my man, how you doing? I know you're going book tour crazy right now, but I do want to pick your brain a little bit on your latest project, The Last Great Dream. And to start, I'm pulling a quote from the Chronicle from your mouth, Dennis, where Dennis says, "For what it's worth, I think my interest in Bohemia came from the fact that I was in the boondocks of Maine and then upstate New York while all this interesting stuff was going on in California in the hate, and I pretty much missed it. So I've been scrambling to catch up on all that ever since." Okay, Dennis, was that part of the pull and the appeal that ultimately brought you to San Francisco, the whole birth of Bohemia and the hippies and the hate?
Among other things, yeah. I came to San Francisco because to research the Kerouac book, and literally we're driving down the street, and I'm going, "How much do apartments around here go for?" I mean, there was this. I knew this was my destination, and that was darn near 50 years ago. So, as a matter of fact, it was 50 years ago. Where did all the time go? By the way, I want to make one addition. I want to make my standard gripe. That's not a gripe, but my standard addition to your comments about the Jerry on Jerry.
Yeah.
Is, it's a neat book, and it's fine. For those of you who would like to listen to Jerry, the audio book, which never got any PR, that was my gripe. I couldn't figure out why they didn't let people know, because it's 7 hours of Jerry telling stories, and the guy was a great storyteller. And it's fun to listen to. So, the book is great. I mean, if you want to read, I'm a big reader and in favor. But the audiobook, boy, it's Jerry. What can I say?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, I should tell you, full disclosure, Dennis, I have a hard copy of the book, but I do have the audio version on CD. And you're right. I mean, listening to Jerry, just listening to his brain at work and his conversations, he was a brilliant dude, totally fascinating guy, very interesting. But the crazy thing, Dennis, is, and I don't know what this is about, final comment on the Jerry book is, I checked yesterday, since I knew you were coming on, I went onto my audiobooks app. It's not available in a lot of the services, which I don't understand. So I think people still have to buy a hard copy of the CDs if you really want to hear this. But at some point, it would be great to have it on audiobook apps and things like that, because it is, like you said, it's a great listen, man.
Trying to tell publishers how to act, like trying to tell record companies how to act, which is to say,
yeah,
life's too short. There's a limit to what I can do. But anyway, getting back to the new one.
Yeah.
So in 2016, the California Historical Society invited me to curate a photo show about the Summer of Love, which every museum in the Bay Area was going wild about. And about a month in, and it was hugely fun. But about a month in, I suddenly went, "This is a book." And what I didn't realize, and people keep saying, "Oh no, you planned all this." No, it all kind of I bumped into things, and this really rounds out. It's a quartet. I mean, it's my life's work. What it turns out to be my life's work, even though it all just sort of happened. God knows I didn't plan it. And it is what shocked me when I started researching all this was that all the books pretty much about the Summer of Love and hippies and anything else, and there are lots of them, tend to start about 1965 with the charlatans at the Red Dog Saloon and LSD and rock and roll and a light show, primitive light show. it was the first time that all happened at once. Okay,
Right.
well, that's good. But, they didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Who are these people and where do they come from? And you start moving back. And for me, there was a poetry scene before Allen Ginsberg read Howl and did all that good stuff.
Yeah.
There was a really important poetry scene in San Francisco, and it was based on Kenneth Rexroth and anarchism. Anarchism, not in the sense of throwing bombs or being violent, but anarchism in terms of being free, of
thought,
sexual freedom, of the freedom of thought, of freedom of all kinds of things, which actually goes all the way back at least to Thoreau, who was not a bohemian, you'd think, because, well, he was a virgin and he never drank, which kind of makes you not so much a bohemian. But he was the freest thinker maybe ever in American history. So I regard him as a relative. But at any rate, so I started working on this, and it evolved into there was Rexroth, the anarchist, and one of the other important poets was a guy named Robert Duncan that nobody talks about so much anymore. And Duncan was a mystical guy. His family he was raised in a house, occult, Rosicrucian, all the mysteries, all that good stuff.
Nice.
And he added that. And then when the Art Institute, which was then called something else, but will be back thanks to Stephen Jobs' wife, I think they bought it and they're going to do something with it, I hope, because it's a real landmark in San Francisco. The Art Institute students sort of picked up on what all the poetry scene was doing, and then Alan, then Ferlinghetti arrives, and then we have City Lights, so you have a hangout. And there was a students who opened a bar called The Place on Grant. That was another important hangout.
Right.
And things just grew.
And
they never stopped.
So, Dennis, you made a comment a few minutes ago about how when you first came to San Francisco, and I think a lot of people experience this. I mean, I felt the same way myself. When you come visit the town, you're like, damn, what a great place this is. I'd love to live here. You made a comment about, I wonder how much the rent is. Now, interestingly, I didn't really know this, although I had heard Jerry make a comment about this too, about the economics, where it was like, why did it happen in Haight-Ashbury? And I guess it's hard to imagine this today, being the prices as what they are. But I guess back in that time, Dennis, and you can speak to this a little more, is that it was an affordable area. It's a beautiful neighborhood, but Jerry said it, and you made a comment about it was economically like a reasonable place to kind of drop anchor and get that whole bohemian lifestyle happening.
And you can thank Dwight David Eisenhower for that, because Eisenhower created the National Defense Highway Fund. And so you have freeways all across the country. They were going to divide the city of San Francisco. The freeway engineers were crazy as bedbugs, frankly. And they were going to divide the city into 9 boxes with crisscrossing freeways ever. Remember the Embarcadero Freeway?
Sure.
Well, one of them was going to be what is now Octavia, and would go up Oak Street, eliminate the Panhandle, go through the park.
Wow.
So that you could get to Marin faster.
Right.
Wow.
Well, that expectation that this was going to be built basically made the Haight-Ashbury into, it was like a construction site waiting to happen, which meant, all the prices went down to zero, pretty much, or, as close as you can get. And that's the practical reason why it was so cheap. It was always a student neighborhood. You may not know, but San Francisco State was originally at the corner of Haight and Laguna.
I did not know that. Wow.
It was one square block. If you go there, you'll see what's sort of left of it, of the state. It's now, I think, at least one as a retirement place. And then in 1954, it opened in its current location, which fortunately for the students in the Haight who were living in the Haight to go to State, convenient, was it the NJ, whatever it is, one of those streetcars goes straight to State.
Mhm.
So it stayed a student, a young person's neighborhood. And then, as I say, and for the bohemians and the artists in the North Beach, prices, tourists came, prices went up. So they started moving. And where do they move? Well, a lot of them moved to the Haight. And
Yeah.
that's sort of the origin of it as a neighborhood.
And the kind of lineage you mentioned earlier, Dennis, kind of the continuation of the Beats and Kerouac and Cassidy and all those guys kind of becoming or bleeding into what became the hippies and the hippie movement. I guess I would ask, when was that term first introduced, or when did that term start to become part of the, vernacular?
It's a very interesting story, and I told this in another interview, and somebody immediately wrote me and said, "What about the '30s?" Because hip goes back to on the hip, which is how you smoke opium.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
But it became hipsters, and it was sort of loosely in slang. But for instance, you remember the song by the Orlons called South Street?
Yes.
Where do all the hippies be? That's 1961.
Yeah. Nice. Good call. Right.
And there were several other references where it's in the, good old New York Times. They index words. So you look all the times the word hippie appears in it. And it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, or it doesn't have as much to do. It just sort of pops up. In 1965, there was a really interesting series of articles about a coffee house that was the beginning of what we would think of as hippie culture in the Haight, the Blue Unicorn. And they talk about hippies, but it didn't really catch on. And what happened was eventually, as the media, the scene in the Haight was a really wonderful scene, in particular for the year 1966. And what happened was it was such a good scene and such a good time that they decided to celebrate. Okay. It was sort of a permanent celebration anyway. Well, unfortunately, their celebration, called the Be-In January of 67, brought about 50,000 people together. And suddenly they weren't under the radar anymore. And the media landed on it. Now, the people who were in the Haight referred to themselves as freaks, but that was a little too edgy for the mass media.
Yeah.
And so they changed it to hippies because, that term was around, but it hadn't attached yet. But then the media attached it because it felt softer and gentler and, kinder. And it was the hippies ever after.
Was hippie, like, when it first kind of became embraced and started to be used, whether it was the mainstream media or just people in the city, was it embraced, that term, or was it like an objectionable term? If you really were like a freak, a beatnik, a bohemian, did they embrace that, or was that kind of an objectionable thing?
As far as I can tell, they sort of reluctantly embraced it just because you couldn't get out of it. There it was. And it depended on how you used it. You could refer to, obviously you could use it as, oh, that guy's a dumb hippie or something, There were a lot of factors, it was a very complex neighborhood. To me, because I also talk about LA and New York and London.
Nice.
In this context. What makes San Francisco, to me, important and a little different is that they had the Diggers, and the Diggers did some very serious thinking about the consumer mentality, and about hippie is not being able to wear beads and shop on Haight Street at the stores that had popped up. It was about free, and the idea of they were feeding people on the Panhandle every day. And they fed them not as like kindly social workers, but because it was a principle that these things, food should be free, which is maybe a little optimistic, but you can argue it. And
I'd argue that, sure. Yeah.
It's worth thinking about at the very least. And everything sort of that followed in the San Francisco scene really follows on that.
Dennis, we're talking to Dennis McNally about his new book, The Last Great Dream. Tony, I don't want to step all over this. Do you have any, if you want to ask Dennis a question, jump in, man. Go for it.
Well, yeah, mine, Dennis, is just more of a general question. I know that you came out west, you said, to study and research the Beat era and the Beat generation. But how did you become involved with the Grateful Dead, and how did your relationship begin with the Grateful Dead, and then you become the publicist? I think a lot of people would love to know that, including myself.
Well, I lived it, so I can say confidently it's a great story.
Yeah.
The guy, I got a shove, friendly, important, positive shove from a friend I was sitting there mumbling about, well, maybe I'll do the Beats. I was looking for a subject.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, why don't you do Kerouac? His papers are at Columbia, and you can stay with my friends in the Bronx. Now, when you're a broke graduate student and you're told you have a free place to stay in Manhattan on the subway, holy bananas, this is that's important. So I started working on it. Neil Cassidy is Dean Moriarty in On the Road. But he's also Cowboy Neil at the wheel of the bus to Never Ever Land in the world of Kesey and the Grateful Dead. And the connection, and there was a lot more connections, to put it mildly. And so I said, okay, I want to do this. But I also knew that if I marched up and could find them, and remember, they were the only band in the world with an unlisted number, you had to know.
Yeah, right.
And what happened was I interviewed Bill Graham about the New Year's run for an article that I put in the Chronicle.
Nice.
And this is the way these things work. It's perfect. I came out of his office, and his assistant, Jan Simmons, said to me, have you talked with Eileen Law yet? Eileen was the godmother to all Deadheads, and worked at the Dead office. And I said, no. And she said, well, here's her number. And that's how I got to the Grateful Dead. And long story short, about 18 months later, in the fall of 1980, I met Jerry and managed to wait maybe 2 minutes into the conversation before I said, by the way, I had sent him and Hunter copies of the Grateful Dead, the Kerouac book.
Right.
I said, I sent you this book. Did you ever get it? And he got very excited, because you have to understand, when he was 18, and this is I'll tell you one more other story and pause, but
please, yeah.
This is the center, really, of the entire thing, from Beat to Hippie, or Bohemians and Beats to Hippie, which is when Jerry was 16, he was taking art lessons at the Art Institute from a guy named Wally Hedrick, who was a very well-known beat assemblage artist, good guy. And he played acoustic blues while they were painting, right? 16-year-old high school kids. And that's the reason that Jerry decided, when he got his accordion for his birthday, that he didn't want an accordion, he wanted a guitar. So, give thanks to Wally Hedrick for that. And the second thanks is they asked him, Jerry and his buddy asked him, what's this beat thing? Remember, On the Road was like a current bestseller. It was news. And he said, go down to City Lights, your beat, go down to City Lights and get this book. The one question I never remembered to ask Jerry was, did he buy it or did he lift it? Which I suspect the latter, but
yeah, man.
I never know.
Yeah.
He had no money. But anyway, it became his Bible. It was his Bible till the day he died. And that's why when he read mine and he, liked my point of view about Kerouac, he said a little while later, why don't you do Us? I said, darn fine idea. And I became the biographer. And then about 3 years later, the official publicist, Rock Scully, went away for his health. And I became the publicist. And my life went downhill from there.
And by the way, I probably should have mentioned this up top, and I don't think I did. So here it is. If you're a Deadhead, or you're just getting into the scene now, because it's funny, Dennis, there's a lot of young people that are now gravitating towards the scene. It just keeps on going. But for those of you who haven't read Dennis's book, it is the definitive book about the Grateful Dead. Long, Strange Trip. Cannot recommend that one highly enough. I should have mentioned that earlier. And Dennis, back to the The Last Great Dream, talking about the emergence of the hippie scene and Haight-Ashbury. I wanted to ask you, what was the kind of conservative reaction to that? Like SFPD, I've always wondered, like, you hear about the famous psychedelic shop, and now it's commonplace. I mean, people understand it and they know the scene and what it all is, and it's established and it's just part of the culture now. But back then, I always wondered, like, what did the cops and stuff think about what was going on in the psychedelic shop and all that? What was that reaction like?
The cops only got really concerned, again, along with the media, after the be-in, when people started flooding into San Francisco to look for Valhalla, to look for, the psychedelic capital of the world. White Rabbit was the one fact coming out of the Haight that was accurate. You listen to White Rabbit, Feed Your Head, blah blah blah, and people go, I'm going. And every bored high school student, all of them, that wanted to run off and join the circus, was going to, and spent the entire spring going, oh God, when school lets out, all hell will break loose. And to some extent it did. It was just, it was an overrun of population, an explosion, kind of like in the Grateful Dead's parking lots after their one hit, the thing that almost killed the Grateful Dead, Touch of Grey. But the neighborhood liked them. The neighborhood people now the cops,
right.
The cops were Mets and Mets, but mostly, as I say, in '66, they didn't, if it wasn't in the papers, they didn't have to pay attention and didn't. The classic example is you get to the be-in, and now, well, I won't even begin to discuss the Dead and Company's visit to Golden Gate Park, but it's going to be a little different from the be-in.
Slightly.
They pulled up a flatbed truck, and security, this is true, was 2 cops on horses.
Wow.
And there's a great story where a woman lost her child for a second and went up to them and said, "You have to help me find my child." And the cop says, "No, go down to the stage and talk to somebody, and they'll make an announcement. And they'll find your child. We can't go down there. They're smoking pot."
Right. That's cool.
And, and we can't. We're not going to go down there and try and arrest 30,000 people. It's happy, or 50 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it, as I say, the shall we say, the footprint of the be-in had incredibly lasting consequences, but it was somewhat lighter, to put it mildly, physically, than what's going to happen, for instance, this year. And I will add one other thing, which is one of the proudest things I always thought about the be-in was that at the end, Allen Ginsberg said, "Okay, now kitchen yoga. I want everybody to pick up every little scrap of anything and leave nothing behind. And let's leave the park better than we found it."
Nice.
And as I understand it, that's what happened.
And I will tell you this, Dennis, as a kid of the Grateful Dead scene back in the 80s and 90s, that kind of mentality and that kind of thought, it still existed. Like the term, the phrase was "keep the scene clean." And I used to bring trash bags, man. I was like, yeah, man, clean this up so we can come back. And it's like looking after the scene was a really important element. In my opinion, it was just a really important element to keep the whole thing moving. Yeah.
It was a genuine community. And the amazing thing for me, I've talked with some of these young Deadheads, or not even a twinkle in somebody's eye when Jerry died.
Right.
That was 30 years ago. We're talking about 18-year-olds. And the interesting thing is, they really get the ethos, the community ethos of Deadheads and the Grateful Dead. They don't know much about the history. These are people who say, "Pigpen who?"
Right.
And for that, I'd say, yeah, go ahead, read the book. You might like some interesting background. It's a very interesting story that the music endures, the attraction of the music endures. And it basically, my theory, such as it is that after Fare Thee Well, the Fare Thee Well shows, which just sort of had to happen had to sort of round things off. I thought deadheadism would sort of slowly slip away because everything goes away, almost everything. And what I realized after a while was that the Deadheads had decided that they weren't so much in love with, Grateful Dead per se, those 6 guys at that time. They were in love with the music. And to some extent, who played it was less important than just that it was the music. And so you've got DSO and J-Rad and a million neighborhood, 800 dead cover bands in America.
Wow.
Not only are there that many, but somebody sat there and counted them.
Right. Good
Put them
call,
on a
man.
website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's phenomenal. And it's the spirit that endures. So that I love, for instance, personally, I love J-Rad. I love what they do with Grateful Dead music. And lots of other bands. So there you go.
Well, Dennis, in closing, getting into the final minutes here, I guess my last questions would be, and I had heard Jerry speak to this over the years about leaving the Haight-Ashbury, and when the scene became unmanageable, like you said, just the influx of young people. Hey, we're going to go to San Francisco and wear flowers and sleep in the street and all that, and they did, but it also kind of ruined the scene. And Jerry talks about having to get out of there and getting up to Stinson Beach and everything. So, in addition to just the overpopulation, what else, in your estimation, killed the movement, like killed the scene? Like, what else caused that?
Well, for starters, the cops, because in addition to arresting the 2 members of the Grateful Dead who did not smoke pot in a pot bust in the fall,
right,
which is when they really were convinced, maybe it's time to get out of town. But beside that, literally, as Peter Berger, the Diggers, pointed out, they made Haight Street one way, and they put in these what are that? Special high intensity lights.
Wow,
that made it just ghastly. They made it just uncomfortable to hang on that street. In the fall, after the first wave left, and they basically kept it an unfriendly place for years. I think that's changed now. And you get places like, for instance, Love on Haight Street, which sells tie-dye, plug, on the corner of Haight and Masonic. And I recommend it because it really is a continuation, a proud awareness of the tradition and a continuation of it. And there are other places like that. So, it took a while. But the best thing I can say is that so much of what happened in the hippie world, not in a political sense, but in a cultural sense, endures. It's still important, whether it's the way you eat, or maybe the way you exercise, yoga, or personal computers, which came about largely because of LSD and the Silicon Valley, etc. The values are, and sexuality, for instance, and there's a long way from the gentle male hippie to trans people. But the point is, this was an assertion of value in everybody, which isn't the way the current administration is looking at it.
No. And by the way, Dennis, couple quick things. Sorry, Tony, real quick. The tie-dye I have behind me, that's exactly where I got that, the corner of Haight and Masonic, the one I have right here. Great shop, as you said. And one more time, Dennis's book, his new book, The Last Great Dream, How Bohemians Became Hippies and Created the 60s. Tony, get your last shot in here real quick.
Yeah, one last thing for me, Dennis. I'm fascinated by the whole freeway plan back in '65. That blows my mind. And then I read in your book that there were, I guess, 9 total plans for freeways.
There were going to be 9. The one that I know stayed was the Embarcadero Freeway. Remember, where I don't know if you've been here long enough, but it would dump out on the foot of Broadway.
Yep.
I don't know what. I guess the Octavia, you would call that the other. But no, the neighborhood said absolutely not.
So in those when they said that, the neighborhood association, would there be, in those protests, like, would the Dead get involved in those protests, or would any bands?
No, this was before the music scene. This was in very early 1966, and it was still, they hadn't settled on in the Haight. It was
Gotcha.
because they defeated it specifically in March of 66. Because they defeated it, the whole neighborhood said, oh, well, we're going to exist for a while instead of being a construction site.
Yeah.
And that's when many of the people in the bands and the whatnot moved in.
It's
Wow,
really
so
fascinating, man.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole
it
thing is so fascinating historically, culturally. Like when you learn and you dig in and you find stuff out, like Neil Cassidy shared a room with Bob Weir at 710. Like, how did you know what I mean? Like, there's so many crazy, amazing things that happen. And Dennis, you should know, people on the comments line right now are actually relaying messages that they have just ordered the book during our conversation. One of our listeners, Patty, up in Napa, she said she's got it overnight. So from Amazon, it'll be there tomorrow. So we're moving product, man. We're moving books. And Dennis, my last question would be, today in 2025, and we talked about the ideals that do continue. I've seen it. I try to practice them myself. Be compassionate, care about our brothers and sisters. Let's make this a little bit better place if that's possible. When you hear that word used today, when you hear people say like, oh, this is my friend, Paulie Mack, he's a hippie. Like, do you think that is an appropriate term in 2025, or do you feel like that should not be used anymore?
Oh no, you are a hippie, of course you are, and you know, and a lot of my friends. I mean, what happened with the media was that they got fixated on beads and flowers and trivia.
Yeah,
It's what the media can see, and you know, that's superficial stuff. And they completely missed the spiritual implications of what was going on. But you know, it stays. And I teach high school classes with these kids who are absolutely fascinated with the 60s. It happened 50, 60 years before they were born.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I keep telling them, look, the reason you're still interested is all this stuff is still part of our culture. The culture wars against MAGA is really derives from the 60s. The 60s, because the problem is the 60s produced not only the Grateful Dead and an ongoing series of wonderful stuff, it also created with the Watts Rebellion, the backlash that elected Ronald Reagan as governor of California and later president. And, you know, from Reagan to Trump is a direct lineage. So, you know, there's always different, you know, ways to approach freedom in this country. I like our way better.
Beautifully said, and perfect time to wrap things up. Dennis, congratulations, man. The book is fantastic. We love having you on. It's just great to catch up, my brother. And you be well. Give Susanna a hug for me, and I'll see you guys soon.
Promise. Take care, y'all.
Thanks, Dennis. Be good, man. There he goes. Dennis McNally, everybody. One of our favorites. How about that, T? Anytime Dennis wants to come hang out, the door is always open. A fascinating guy. Fascinating to me. We just kind of barely scratched the surface. You can go extremely deep with Dennis on the history of San Francisco. Obviously, this new book, The History of the Hippie. You want to talk Grateful Dead? That's the guy. That's the guy. He did it all. He lived with the boys. So how'd you like it, T?
I loved it, and it reminded me of that lunch we had with him at the old ship.
Cheers, up in the back, up on that little
back.
Yes,
and that lunch went on for almost 3 hours, and I was like, give me 3 more hours, give me more, because I love listening to him talk, and I love listening to his stories, and the fact that all of those things are intertwined back in the it's wild to me that, like, in a weird backwards way, we need to thank Ike Eisenhower for proposing these freeways, or letting these freeways be proposed, or else the Haight-Ashbury might have never ever happened.
Phenomenal point. He would love to hear you say that. Maybe he's still watching, but that's exactly the kind of stuff he loves, like conversations that come from little nuggets like that. Like, I got to tell you the truth, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the 9 highways and Eisenhower and all this. Like, that's Dennis just giving you more information about our hometown that we didn't previously know. Real quick, Tony, if we could, Nikki DiFrancesco checking in. And I can't see his comment yet, but I saw his name go flying by. Let me see what we got here.
He's a super. What's up, Nikki D? Thank you, dude. Awesome booking. I'm a millennial. Got on the bus in 2020 thanks to Dennis. My life is better for it. I will be getting Dennis's book. Nice, Nick.
Yeah, no, Nikki, that's great, man. And I'm sure it's going to be a great book. If you haven't read it yet, dive into that. It'll be awesome. And I'm glad you're on the bus, bro. The bus came by and I got on. That's when it all began. You and me both, bro. I got by, the bus stopped by for me in the late 80s, got on. I'm still on. And I'm never getting off. I'm riding this bus till the wheels come off, dude. Yeah. When did you know what, Tony? I don't think we've ever talked about this, and I go way back with Creative Tony, but the origin story of you becoming what I would also refer to as a hippie kind of kid. When did you get on the bus, man?
Oh boy, mid 90s. It was basically my fifth year of college when I was done playing baseball, but I still had some units left to finish. That was my fifth year. That became my experimental year, shall we say?
I do.
And I started seeing a lot more live music. And believe it or not, I saw Big Head Todd and the Monsters and Dave Matthews Band in 1995 at the Warfield. And I had never seen anything like it. And then from there,
the hippie kids going crazy together, like the whole thing.
Yeah, because I was big into Pearl Jam, big into like 311, big into reggae, like earlier. But then, those kind of dabble in that scene, but don't really fully embrace or fully, it's not a full immersion of that. So I went to that show and then I was like, okay, I need a lot more. And then I need to start diving deeper. And I was a deadhead, and what Dennis was saying about the hit that almost ended the dead was
great. Yeah, we refer to them, Tony, as touch heads. All the new there were touch heads. So, yeah.
Paulie, back in high school, I was a touch head, right? Okay. That's all the only dead I knew.
Yeah.
And then, like as the universe would provide, I met you in '97, and then you just said, "Get this."
Oh, you had no choice. Once we crossed paths, I'm like, Tony, get in the car. Just get in the car, and we're going. And I introduced Tony to the other ones, and then Phil and Friends, and we've been locked in ever since. Yeah.
There was also that Fish show at the Cow Palace in 1996 that I just went on a whim. I'm like, you know what? I'll check it out. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah. And plus it was the Cow Palace too. So it was just all those happening at the same time, because I enjoyed playing baseball. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. But playing college baseball, it becomes a job, because you had to have all your classes done by like noon, because you had to be on the field at 1, and then you're on the field until like 5, and then you have dinner, and then you have study hall with the team, and then you go to bed. Like it's your life, it's your priority. So I didn't have a lot of time for that other stuff that a lot of people did in college. And so once I had that fifth year, I'm like, okay, I didn't get drafted, nothing happened. I did some tryouts and nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm diving in, and I dove in head first.
You're still in head first. You've never come up and stay that way, bro. Stay that way. That's one of the reasons Tony and I kind of fell in love with each other. Like, we had a lot of common ground, and he turned me on to a lot of great music. I turned him on to a lot of great music, and we're still kind of thriving together. And I will say, like, I really believe this kind of final thought on all this stuff. I swear to God, I don't want to get too hippy dippy, love and peace kind of thing, but I would say this. I swear to God, I think that because I found my way to the Grateful Dead, I actually think it made me a better person. I'm not kidding. I probably would have been a much bigger a-hole, which I already am, of course, but it would have been even worse if I never discovered the Grateful Dead. Like, they made me kind of reevaluate stuff. And like I told Dennis, like, start caring about people around you more than I had previously and stuff like that.
I couldn't agree more, dude. And 100%, like, the whole, I don't want to sound cliched, but the doors of perception open for me, and in so many ways it changed the type of person I am and who I am today.
What do you mean doors of perception, Tony? What's that? No, I'm with you, man. Yeah.
The way I see life and the way I experience life is very different than, say, how I was in high school or grammar school and the beginning of college, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%. If I didn't embrace that whole scene, I'd definitely be a different person, and I cannot say that I would be for the better. I think I am for the better, right?
No, me and you both, man. So thanks again, Dennis. One of my great friends, and just so proud to have him on the show. I really love that guy. All right, Creative Tony, just one last picking up loose ends here. I saw Scarlet Fire. I know that, she's saying it right now. Showed me a way of life, Paulie. You and me both, girl. Me and you both. And I saw her say she got on the bus in '83. Hey, Scarlet Fire, just me and you talking privately for 1 second here. Were you at freaking 10/11/83 at the Garden when they brought back St. Stephen? Tell me you were at that show. Watch me get really jealous. I wish I was there. What were you going to say, Creative Tony? What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that. I forgot what I was going to say. I had something about
83 getting on the bus. Scarlet Fire.
Yeah. I forget what it was, but no. When people, because a lot of people are like, wait, you've seen Fish over 100 times, you've done this, like, what do you like? You see a lot of live music. I'm like, of course, primarily it's about the music, but a large chunk of it, especially like these shows, is the people.
Yeah.
And like the experience of connection and of people where kindness and love is the common denominator shared at these shows, not other stuff. And that's you know what I mean? It's just
totally, man. No, totally. It is. I think, well, that's kind of what Dennis was saying. One of the reasons there are so many young people now. Like, I always used to trip out being at KNBR, and our great producer, Triple E, Eric Engel, like, he's fallen in love with the Dead. Like, he can't wait for these Dead and Company shows. He was texting me the other day, Paulie, we got to hang out. I'm like, dude, absolutely, we're going to hang out at Golden Gate Park. No question. But like, it's partially the appeal is the scene. Like the scene, it's because when you discover that, and that thing has been in existence all this time, like right under your nose, and all of a sudden, like, you get into it, it's like, wow, I'm never leaving this. Like, this is where I want to be, man. And Scarlet Fire, she just dropped the atom bomb. She was at the St. Stephen show. Damn it. That's two people. I knew a kid in college it was at that show too. I'm very jealous. I have it on CD. It's a killer show. Consider yourself very, very lucky. She was at the return of St. Stephen. After all, Madison Square Garden, Tony, in and out of the Garden he goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I got to say, I got to quote my dad on this, because when I went to the Dead and Company show with my dad at the Sphere, he made this comment at set break, and it just is, and I've said this to many people long before I heard him say it. These shows are like a microcosm of what the world should be more like.
I agree. Totally agree. That's
And when he said that at set break of the show, I was like, what else can you say?
Yeah, no, he knows. He's a smart man. And by the way, final comments here, Tony, and then we're going to do the Metallica ticket, and we'll wrap up and let everybody go get some lunch. I see my guy, Nicky DiFrancesco. He said, I love Patton's Particle Land video. He goes, I looked back one last time and then stepped in. You and me both, Nikki. I've done the same thing. I stepped in a long time ago. Do you want to go to Particle Land real quick? Can we do that?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Today's the day. It's appropriate. Yeah.
I had it loaded on Friday because I wanted to do it then, but it just takes me a second to find it. That's all I need to do is just find it. Okay. So give me a moment, Paulie, while we set up. There it is right there. Okay. Stand by. I'm loading it up.
Yeah. Let's go to Particle Land, all of us together. We're going to dose. Here we go. Woo!
Here we go. Yeah. Oh, it's the best. And look at the look back. You called it.
Look back. Boom, I'm going. Yeah, it's already underway.
Welcome to Particle Land.
Yep. There he goes. Go out, man. Let's see what's going on over there. Got to go right to those yellow lights. I'm like, what's going on over here? All right. Anyway, thank you, boys. Great time today. Now, Tony, without further delay, without any further fanfare, I think it's time. A lot of you guys, I know you're hanging around. Hold on.
Just because.
No, I know what it's like, Tony. When we got big announcements to make. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. We sent out the lyrics last week. I'll read them to you one more time. Once upon a planet burning, once upon a flame, once upon a deal returning, all in vain. Do you feel that hope is fading? Do you comprehend? Do you feel it terminating in the end? The correct answer is Hardwired, one of the more recent tracks about 10 years ago. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Tony did the selections this week, so I actually don't know who the winning person is today. Creative Tony's going to unleash this information for all of us. So, Tony, the drum roll.
You can put away the razors. You can put away. There's no slashing. There's no cutting. There's no need for Peter Tosh, Stepping Razor, to come to the forefront here, because the first person to email the correct answer on Friday was our very own John Joseph.
Oh, good. Correct. I'm glad to hear that. I think everyone's taking a big breath of a sigh of relief right now. Like John Joseph, like Tony said, put the blade away. All is well in Particle Land. You will be heading down there to go catch Metallica on Sunday, June 22nd. Again, as I kind of remind everybody of this, there are 2 shows. We're doing the Sunday show. So I'll see you down there. John Joseph, I'll see you at the gig. Have a great time. Creative Tony's going to be there. I'm going to be there. I know Winks is coming up for one of the shows. I don't know which night yet. Winks, let me know, but we'll talk. And then, Tony, we're going to do this again. We'll give away another pair on Friday. Probably going to do the same thing, more lyrics, although I started thinking trivia. I could do trivia too, maybe some of that. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but we'll do it on Friday. Congratulations, John Joseph. You deserve the tickets. I know you're a big fan, so I'm glad it worked out.
Absolutely, dude. I'm very happy for John Joseph, and we got 3 more pairs to give away. And we also are going to put together some sort of pre-show hang / tailgate, something for that Sunday show. Details are forthcoming. And also, Paulie, I want people to know that it's 3 more pairs of. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, Aaron Kask. Let's see. Aaron Kask is the super. He just popped up. This is great news. I was pretty sure I saw JJ running across my backyard at night a lot.
Aaron, one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. That you want to talk about how Martin Scorsese is already like bound for hell with some of the movies he's made. Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle, all that shit. The Raging Bull, he's beating people up. I got to tell you, when you see Cape Fear, it's so uncomfortable. First of all, he's doing the chin-ups in jail. He's got the scales of justice on his back. But there's one scene, they don't even explain it. It's just Jessica Lange gets up in the middle of the night, and she like opens the curtain, looks out the window, and De Niro's just like running across her yard. That's all. Yeah. Just at 3 a.m, just running across. Aaron, phenomenal reference, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. Great scene, and thank you for the donation. Yeah, shout out. Come out, wherever you are. Counselor. Yeah. Scary as hell, dude.
Could you be there?
Oh. By the way, that's after Nolte hired like those 3 goons to beat De Niro up. Nope, he kicks all their asses, dude. He's beating them with clubs and chains. Counselor, is that you? Yeah, hiding behind the trash cans. Oh, it's terrible.
Hey, on that note, to compliment Aaron Kask's super, stand by.
Give it to me one more time. Give it to me. There he is, dude, in the movie theater. Watch it. I mean, God bless him, dude. How about, this is so taboo. It's not even right. But, dude, how about the fact that he's making out with Juliette Lewis, dude? I mean, it's just, it's like, bro, yeah, I know. It's tough. The whole thing's tough. Yeah.
You mind if I put my arm around you?
I'm here to help him. I'm here to save him. She's like, what about my dad? I'm here to help him. I'm here to save him. I'm here to save him, dude. Okay. Anyway, Tony, great show today. Final word on Longbridge Pizza, and then we're all going to take a little lunch break.
I have to give this super some attention because it happened right at the beginning of Dennis McNally's interview. Okay. But I want to give Ray Goodman was a super earlier. And he, if I can just locate it, it was a long time ago. There it is right there. We were talking about Ray Goodman's show, Ray Goodman and the Soulmates, this Friday at the winery in Martinez. And he's saying Noemi, his better half, will join on bass for some tunes on Friday. So the William Welch Wines, the winery in downtown Martinez, Friday night for Ray Goodman and the Soulmates. And then Paulie's gigging on Saturday at the Water Bar, correct, Paulie? On Saturday at noon?
Noon to 3. Yeah, back patio.
So you're doing a high noon double shot. Friday show high noon and then Saturday high noon, correct?
That's correct. And first of all, I want to shout Ray out. I'm looking forward. He's going to sit in our second set. And Noemi, I had no idea you played bass. That's so cool. That's one of the greatest things of all time. In my opinion, are like heavy hard rock bands, punk bands with female bass players. One of my favorite things of all time. You can shout out Darcy. Okay, the Pumpkins. Yep. You can shout out Kira from Black Flag. You can shout out what's her face, Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. The list goes on and on. The Breeders, Kim Deal playing bass.
Who's the bass player for the Go-Go's? I forget her name, but they just gigged down at what was it, Coachella? Or they had a gig recently where they were posting all kinds of social media stuff, and I was like, man, I would love to be at that set.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on her name, but dude, shout out the Go-Go's. The fact that they're all still doing well and all gigging. I love that.
Hey, by the way, first of all, great handle. Log Jammin' Fantasy Football. Log Jammin' Fantasy Football. Log Jammin', the name of the porno in Big Lebowski. Those guys were watching Log Jammin'. You're not kidding. Shout out Sonic Youth and Kim Gordon. She's a badass. I love. In fact, read her book. It's called Girl in a Band. Phenomenal book. I recommend it. All right, Longbridge Pizza, Tony, on 3rd Street in Dogpatch. We talk about them all the time because they're our great first sponsor. We're very proud to have them on board, but we love these guys, and we love their food, and we love Neil, and we love Andrew, we love Andre, all those guys. Get on down there, 2347 3rd Street, the laid back vibe, the serious pizza, the specialty sandwiches Creative Tony talked about. It's not a coincidence. I'm just saying this up front, that when I bring my mom to Longbridge, that's probably going to happen on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence. I need that chicken parm sangi. I'm sorry. I go out of my way to get one, and that's what we're going to do. If it's not this Wednesday, it'll be next Wednesday. I got to work on my my schedule. I'm not sure which day it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. So Longbridge Pizza is there. It's there for you. It's there for me. Neil is a South City guy, and he treats his customers like family. I like to drive people to the Polymac Particle Pie just because I'm so proud to have a pizza in my own name. I think that's so cool. And it's a really good pizza on top of all that stuff. Final word from me, Tony, is that members of the PMP community, like Don Peralta, like Stevie B. By the way, and condolences about your Nick, Stevie B. I know, man. I know. I will kiss my mom for you, Rags. Yeah, she still asks about you all the time, actually, so I will. Is that you can go in there and buy the crust now. You can buy their sourdough crust. And why is that a big deal? I think it's a big deal because that, to me, is a huge kind of element of their taste. Like it's when you eat it, you're like, yeah, this is a little different than normal. And then it didn't even occur to me. And somebody, like, I think it was Neil, was like, well, we use sourdough crust. And I'm like, that's what it is. That's why this thing tastes so good. It's got like a little extra tanginess to it. So anyway, pick up the crust, pick up a pie, pick up a sandwich, whatever your appetite is calling for. They're going to take care of you down at Longbridge, Steve.
Paulie, so that you just mentioned buying the crust or buying the dough. There it is right there. That's a Don Peralta creation. He bought the dough from Neil. You can purchase this there at Longbridge Pizza or order it at longbridgepizza.com. And this is the dough in its primal form before it goes into the oven.
Primal, man. Yeah.
Right. But there you go. There's the dough. You can get it nice big dough ball, and then you cook it, and it goes into a creation like that, which is a wonderful sight. Nice with the basil. Nice touch with the basil.
Yeah.
I love it. So you can get that sourdough dough, which is very unique to Longbridge Pizza, and also Giants homestand. If you're going to the Giants game tomorrow night, go down early and smash some of their smash burgers, okay? And Wednesday, night game. Great day to go to the ballpark. Great night to go to the ballpark. Stop by Longbridge, have a beer, and grab a gabagool sandwich is what they recommend. Bring to the ballpark. The meatball travels well. Also, there's a chicken parm Wednesday that you can grab something as well, too. And then Giants day game Thursday. And then the Braves come into town Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Valkyries are hosting the Las Vegas Aces this Saturday. So lots of events happening at Chase and at Oracle this week, where you can get Longbridge involved, and you can take care of your food cravings and your drink cravings and your sports cravings all in one.
Oh, nice. Hey, thank you, Tony. That was awesome. Yeah. And final thought today. This is one of my favorite guys now, Escobar III. He's always checking in, dude. He's got the guns. He's got the shoulders. He's a massive muscle, and he's checking in on female bass players. Maya Ford from the Donnas. That's a great call. Dude, the Donnas, I think they were out of Palo Alto, right? Weren't they out of Palo Alto? They did a great cover of Strutter by Kiss. If you've ever heard their version of Strutter, it's killer. Check out the Donnas, all-female band. And I want to say Palo Alto.
You're right. Palo Alto.
Yeah, and just kind of a kick-ass rock band, like very Ramonesy, kind of like that kind of flavor. Great call, Escobar, man. You're on it as always. Okay, congratulations, John Joseph. You enjoy the Metallica show. Thanks again to Dennis McNally, Creative Tony. Really fun show today, and I got to tell you, I feel like I achieved something in the universe today. It was our 100th show, and on the day of our 100th show, Dennis McNally called me a hippie, which I'm going to take as a total compliment, and I'm going to wear that very proudly. And you're a hippie. And I got news for you guys. I got breaking news for all of y'all. If you're part of the PMP community, you got a little hippie dust on you, man. I'm just saying. Even if you're not part of the scene formally, you're kind of part of the scene by extension. So that's just the news flash for today. Yes, T.
Paulie, just a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, I agree with all your sentiments. Yes, and the fact that Dennis McNally granted that is like a freaking badge of honor.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah.
But also housekeeping. Audio versions of the show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on TuneIn. Also, the PMP playlist 25 available on Spotify or Apple Music. Again, search PMP playlist 25. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, as they say, the kids say.
Thank you, buddy.
YouTube, on YouTube at Polymax Particles. We would love the support, love to spread the word. And as you see on the scrolling on the bottom of the screen, if you want to become a PMP VIP, click the icon in the bottom corner of the screen next to the subscribe. And we'd love to have you come on board. And we're going to start doing extra content for you guys. And we're going to do our NBA Finals bracket that we're going to put together this week and launch later on this week for all y'all.
All right, man. Tony, well said. David Lee Roth has entered the room. It's time for him to, Professor Roth, to dismiss the class. Class dismissed! Yeah, man. Yeah, and by the way, don't think hippies can't get down with Van Halen, because we do that. All right, Tony, thanks for everything today. Really fun show. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Winks. Thank you, Scarlet Fire. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, John Joseph. Thank you, Candlestick Kid. Thank you, Rags. Thank you, Nikki DiFrancesco. Peace Hippies is right. NorCal Refrigeration. Escobar the Third, Nikki DiFrancesco, Aaron Cass, John Joseph. You know how it is, man. It goes on and on and on. We love all of you guys. Tony, you be good down there. Good luck now. Little League is over, but here comes All-Stars. I've been there. It's a lot of fun. Dude, when they throw that red, white, and blue uniform on, dude, that's like, they feel like such gangsters. Yeah. They want to wear it all day. So everybody knows. My kid was an all-star once for, he was a catcher, James. And I know he was so proud of his jersey and stuff like that. So yeah, all-stars, man. Have a good time, Tony. Go Giants. Logan Webb on the hill tonight. We will review tomorrow. Rags, you have a good time and a good day as well. Sanchi, hippie shake. I practice it regularly. Y'all, love and peace. Go buy Dennis's new book, too, The Last Great Dream. Believe me, you will not be disappointed. Peace, y'all. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Y'all.